That Dead Man Beard Company. Their butter, that citrus one.
Yep.
Oh my
that's
God.
what I'm on too.
Oh
Yeah.
man, dude, that's my favorite right there.
I love that stuff, man. It's so nice and it smells good. It
smells great, yeah.
It's easy to use. A lot of the product that I get from different stuff in the past, like you got to like dig it out because it's all like a wax and it's really hard. And then you got to try to get it in your beard, heat it up in your hands really good, and then heat it through your beard. You know, and I do a lot. You know, for me, I got to blow dry it and do all this different stuff to get my beard where I want it. And it's a pain in the ass. But that beard butter, I'm able to just dip my finger in there, get a good little bit on there, rub it around a little bit, and just brush it through finger it through the hair. You know, and there's no fighting to it. There's no like hard work to it. And then just style it as I normally style it. And it's fucking awesome. Yeah. And it smells good. And it looks, I
Gets
really
that little
enjoy
sheen
it.
going and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, this is just conversation. Shout out to Dead Man Beard Company. But I was bringing it up because I really do enjoy that product.
Yeah.
Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. With your host, Craig Casamas and Big J Curran.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. You guys know me. I'm Big J. As it is Mental Health Awareness Month, Craig is out trying to get himself taken care of a bit. He's, we're trying to keep it low key and stuff, but he is in a facility, and we're trying to work on getting his mental capacity back on par. It's been really a rough little trip trying to help him deal with, trying to come out of the closet and his depression and the other stuff that he's dealing with. And he's trying to, he's really out there trying to say that it's about moving and this whole house thing or whatever it is. But we all know what's really going on. So if you see him, give him a big hug, tell him you love him, and that you support him coming out of the closet.
For sure.
It's the Greek way, So today we have a special guest, returning client. Speaking of somebody that has mental issues, and I thought would be a good person to come on as we get into Mental Awareness Month and
for sure
and start talking about this, Chris. So
I'm here for everybody. Man.
Let's talk about your lack of communications and your inability to discuss your emotions.
What else? Is that it? Yeah, I might not be the most communicative person.
See, it's not just me, guys.
It's hard to communicate.
Yeah, and it's not like part of our heritage, part of where we come from and who we come from. I went and saw Dad right before I came here.
Did he talk about his feelings?
No.
That's weird.
And I was like, hey, Pops, just so you know, I'm off on Mondays. So like, if you need help, like going to the doctors or whatever, you make your appointments on Monday, I can come pick you up and take you to your appointments and whatnot. And he just immediately goes, oh, you were talking to your fucking sister, weren't you? And she's telling me I shouldn't be driving and shit. And I'm trying to backpedal because we know how he is about that stuff, because he just doesn't want, like, super independent, super ego driven, always kind of has been. And that ego drive is what's been the biggest killer in our family forever.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ego's a bitch anyway. Just in general, dealing with life and trying not to let your ego get in the way of things is hard, especially our generation.
Our family,
yeah.
I mean, I see other people's families and I see how they communicate with each other. I'm super jealous of my daughter and Ted. They talk to each other very openly and like, no, like right now is probably not a good time. Why don't you give me an hour and then we can come back and touch base on it?
That's crazy, isn't it?
And I'm all, what the fuck? Where the hell did that come from?
Dude, Ethan and Jade, same thing.
Yeah.
They're constantly talking about everything.
See, what the fuck do you want to constantly talk about anything?
I don't know.
Like,
it's weird.
Hey, look, you know how I feel about this prior to any conversation. You know when you walk up to me what I'm thinking. You know how I'm feeling about it.
For sure.
At least that's how I look at it. Why are you going to ask me this shit? Like, what's the fucking point? You know where, like, but.
And who wants
know,
to talk to a woman for an hour?
Oh, God, dude. That just doesn't even. That's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten to do a therapist, because every time I go to a therapist, it seems to be a woman. And
oh, dude, you got to find
I can't do it. I've tried, dude, and then I can't, fucking. Yeah.
Best one I ever had.
You are not the best example of like, oh, mine's a woman. That's you. No, that's obviously helping. Yeah.
Best one I ever had was a Vietnam vet who said he killed so many people in Vietnam, his nickname was Toe Tag. Best counselor ever. He disappeared though. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
straight up, dude.
Weird.
I was like, he was, I guess, close to retirement age.
Okay. So yeah.
But no forewarning. No, hey, I'm not going to be here anymore. So hopefully didn't eat a bullet.
You know what? Honestly, man, every time I've gone to a therapist and we have like 3 or 4 sessions and we talk about stuff and I like, okay, so this is kind of my story, which I hate going over,
Right.
And it's kind of one of the reasons why I'm not seeing anybody now is because I have to go back over the whole thing. And I really don't want to.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to relive that shit. Like, they got those books out. I don't know if you've seen the books that they have where it's like, Dad, I want to hear your story.
You were telling me about that.
Yeah, and it's really, really cool. And I ordered it so I could fill it out to give to Courtney. I started going through the thing, and they're asking me questions, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell her about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there was like big paragraphs where I'm like, hey, man, you don't need to hear this story, kiddo. I love you, and if you want to hear it, you can talk to me, but I'm not going to write this down. It was a rough one.
For sure. I mean, there's a lot of things where I was like, you know what? Maybe when they're older, they can hear this shit, but some of the stories that nobody needs to hear.
No.
It's...
And I think that about, because there's so many things that I want to hear from Dad, which is part of why I'd love to get him on the pod, but we know it ain't going to happen. But because there's so many different little stories and different things, and I know I've said this on the pod before, I'm sure I have, but, the fact that, like, this tattoo that I got on my hand, my dad has the exact same tattoo on his hand that he got when he was 15. My dad's 80. He got it when he was 15. And it was a cover-up that Grandma had to take him down to down to Seattle, down to the port, and go find a tattoo artist. And Grandma had to sign off for him to get his hand covered. I want to know what that tattoo was that he had underneath the
oh,
swallow.
Yeah.
But he won't. He just gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like sometimes when you or I are talking to people, and a story comes up, it just fucking sounds insane.
Yo, dude, all the time.
And that's just one story.
I'll get into it and I'll be like, man, there ain't no way people think I'm telling the truth.
Right?
It
just sounds too crazy.
Because it just doesn't make sense,
I do.
Hanging off cliffs, driving cars around the beach at 11 years old and just jumping in the car and going and doing donuts in the beach up in Washington and then like hanging out with their cousins
and at that beach being rescued via helicopter off a cliff face while the tide was coming in.
Yeah, that was a good one. Whew. Yeah. So we went I think it's Snoqualmie Reservation. It's in western Washington, right on the ocean, and we went up there and we went there for like the 4th of July with all of us went there. And all of the kids, like you guys don't, if you're from California, the tides in Washington are extreme. When the tide goes out, it goes out. Like it'll go way out. But when it comes back up, it'll come back up the rocks and like everything will disappear. And we were told when we took off on a go for a hike, all the kids, we were told, be careful when you go around the point. Because once you get around that point, if you guys don't come back before that tide comes up, you're not going to be able to get back around. So, of course, we got around the point and quite rapidly. It wasn't like we were just hanging out. We got around the point and we got blocked, and we couldn't come back. So it was like me and my brother and like 4 or 5 of our cousins, and we were all pretty young. I mean, I was probably 12, I think, and the tide was coming in. We had no out, and the only out is we're all going to drown. Essentially, is what's going to happen is we're all going to drown.
Yeah.
So again, and this is me at 12. No panic. Hey, come on, you guys, let's go. I want everybody up here. I'm 12. I need everybody to get up here. This is the highest point that we can get right now. I need everybody up here. And I got everybody up there where we were safe for a while, and then
I couldn't climb it. It was too...
No. And then I went and climbed the cliff. And, like, you know...
Got as high as you could.
Got as high as I could up on that mountain.
And then started screaming.
And just screamed as loud as I could. Help, help, help.
And eventually...
Yep. And my Aunt Diane...
Somebody barely heard it.
My Aunt Diane was like... She panicked. Thank God she was there, because my folks would never panic. They'd just be like, oh, they'll figure it out. But she panicked and was like, hey... Chris and Dupree and Billy and Jason and you know, Julie and Debbie and Moon, where are they? They went on that hike, and so they sent somebody else, and he came and he heard me yelling, and then they went and got the fire department, and the fire department came, and he was winched down off the side of the hill, and then grabbed onto us and then dragged us up, and literally dragged us up the side of the hill. And I remember getting dragged up the side of that cliff going, ow, ooh, ow, ow, fuck, ow, this shit fucking hurts. What the fuck? Because it was just you're getting dragged up the side of a cliff, you know? But yeah, they dropped that down, and they got all of us, dragged us all up the side of that cliff, and it was fucking wild, man.
Good times.
Another good one from that same weekend was we had a station wagon, and we went out there and we were doing donuts out in the sand, and Chris got on the hood of the car, and we were doing donuts, and I told Julie, stomp on the brake. And you were on the hood of the car, and you just fucking Supermaned right off the hood of the fucking car out into the sand. Got up, spitting sand, and fucking breathing fire. You ready to kill somebody.
I wonder why.
Yeah, weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the first or the last time I flew off the hood of a car.
No. Mm-mm. Oh, yeah.
Ponderosa.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah. So you got a new job. You've been working now since you decided not to go to Alaska. You've got a new job with, obviously you're wearing all this shit, so I can say Sunbelt. And recently destroyed a light tower and some electrical lines. Is that how that worked out?
Precisely. Yes, I was picking up some equipment to take back to the yard, and I think it was my second light tower, and I forgot to lower the mast.
Yeah.
And hit a electrical line.
Yeah. So everybody knows when a light tower, there's the mast lays down, so when you transport it, it's laying down. And then you lift this giant pole up that has these 4 lights on it.
These ones actually
and then
telescope. They telescope, you crank them.
Yeah.
And they just go straight up.
But they don't lay down.
Don't lay
they
down.
just
Not these don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a little more forgivable, I guess.
I guess. Mm-hmm. My boss was just happy I didn't get hurt.
We're always happy that you didn't get hurt. Too bad.
Me too.
Too bad.
But yeah, just
Honest mistake.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. But you know,
when you do this stuff, you always got to walk around the truck and look at everything and go, okay, this done. But when you're doing different stuff all the time, sometimes you can forget to do certain things.
yeah, it's a cool job, man. I like it. I'm driving all kinds of different stuff, and kind of makes the day go by. It's jumping any. If there's a tractor there that I haven't driven, I can just jump in it and play around and figure it out.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And frustrating at times when you're like, man, I know it's not, there's some fucking button. There's just this one little button that I can't find, you know, and you don't drive those, Chris, you operate them. We'll cover that since Craig's not here, because he gets all bent out of shape when you say drive. And, because you don't drive a tractor, Chris, you operate it.
I prefer to drive it.
Yeah. That's what I do, but Technically, it's you operate it, you know.
Well.
Yeah. I can hear Craig sitting here bitching at us as we're talking about it, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, I hope he's okay, man. I hope they get him on some good meds.
Well, once Hillmont clears him,
Yeah.
you know, he should be fine.
Yeah.
Just a 5150 holds like 3 days, right?
Yeah. Yep.
He'll be okay.
Yeah.
Give him some time to reflect.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. Continue his weight loss journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruit Loop.
Yep. Cupcake. Wouldn't you like to be a cupcake too? So what else you been up to, man?
Father's Day, man, that was
Yeah.
fun. Joe.
Yeah, brother Joe in town was nice.
Yeah, it was cool. And I'm going to Costa Rica next month.
Next month?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I think on the 10th. Just for a week.
Yeah.
Go down there and hang out.
Middle of summer. That's a good time to go.
Oh,
down there.
God, dude, it's so hot. It's so hot and it's so humid.
Yeah.
By the time I'm acclimated, it'll be time to come home.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll be having a conversation with brother Joe about when's a good time to go down there.
It's always hot. You got to do like, if you want, even when it rains, it's hot.
I'm okay with the raining hot. I just don't, you know, yeah, it is what it is, man. I'm going. I'm definitely
As you
going.
should, dude. It's a beautiful country.
Man,
Cool
to just
people.
go hang out with brother Joe.
Yeah, dude, there's not even a reason to leave his house.
Yeah.
It's that dope.
Yeah.
And there's a bar and a barbecue. What more do we need?
Meat market.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sick. Wait till you see it. It's,
Yeah.
it's fucking so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, hung out with him. Didn't get to see any of my kids for Father's Day, so that was perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I got to see mine and hang out with mine.
Yeah, me too. That was.
And Nova showed up.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I got to see Nova and Andy and Nicole. That was awesome. I do wish Freya was there.
God, Nova's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It was nice though, man. It's the first time. Not the first time, but it was just really nice to. I was excited all day for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all day, I was like, "All right," you know. And I was covering a work shift for Jen so that she could go out to Maine, and so I was there at work, going like, "I'd much rather be right at home right now," you know.
For sure.
Yeah, but I did get to see everybody, and that was so nice, man. It's just great.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and we have a nephew, or for you, it's a son. We have a baby shower coming up this weekend.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's exciting too.
it is. Gratefully straight, somewhat. You know, we were always been kind of curious. Always wondered. You know,
Still not sure.
nope, not even a little bit. You know, Ethan.
That's going to be a blonde ass little baby, isn't it?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Hopefully, get some of her stature and.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, that's going to be a little toe-headed, blue-eyed.
Maniac.
He's going to be a lunatic.
Everybody thinks it's a girl.
Yeah, how do you feel? You're
I
the
don't know
predictor.
yet. I have no idea.
So my brother's got a pretty fucking strong rate of prediction of what. One, he can predict when a woman's pregnant. Like, just know she's pregnant. You know, he worked at the hospital for years, and he would tell coworkers, "Hey, you're pregnant," and they'd be all, "What?" You know, because they're trying to keep it under wraps, but he could tell they were pregnant. And then he's got what 100%
Yeah, I pretty much.
of telling you what your baby's gender is.
I'd ask if
Yeah.
they wanted to know.
Yeah, the two genders, by the way,
Yeah.
two. Yeah,
Dose.
yeah, yeah. Hey, do you want to know what the baby is? Once he gets it, you know.
Yeah, it's really weird. It takes.
Hermaphrodite variable?
No, I don't have that.
No, some.
Some.
Yeah, that's the third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but then let's just stop at 3 then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there are those. I've seen a couple of those. They're pretty rare. But working in the NICU for 29 and a half years, you see a little bit of everything.
Huh.
It was a great career.
Yeah. It was a good one. Fuck that up. Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
how's the chicken coop? How's everything else going?
Great, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to what you've been up to, but you're about as responsive as Dad right now.
Well, I'm working. Been working and visiting Joe and hanging out with you. And
Yeah, it's been a good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been good. I mean, are we going, or is it World War III? What's going on with that? Did you hear one of the Clintons' aides married Soros's daughter or some shit? Granddaughter?
Kenny?
No comment.
Okay.
I don't indulge.
Right now.
Yeah, no, it's not the time.
Okay, Mike. Yeah.
Not even on.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. We're good. Yeah, man. It's gotten so nuts that I don't. It's too fucking much, man. Here we are. We're going to war with Iran again. We're still sponsoring everything that's going on with everybody else for some reason. We're still, sponsoring Ukraine, Netanyahu or whatever
Netanyahu.
Yeah, we're sponsoring everything that guy wants to do. I'm going to wreck Gaza. Now we're going after Iran. I'm going to do that, and I need you guys to back me up and support me on all this.
And apparently that's okay.
And and nobody questions it. None of the media is controlled by a certain group of people.
100%.
And when you say that, hey, this group of people controls the media, everybody calls you a Nazi.
Oh, for sure.
But
For sure,
if
but-
you look at it,
Well, when you
It's real.
when you see these drug commercials,
yeah,
and like I can't remember what it was. It was like some eye disease related to your kidneys, and again, long career in the medical field. I was like, I have never ever heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked it up. Hardly anybody has it. But the thing is, they do any of those commercials. None of us know anybody that has any of that stuff except for maybe the diabetes one. The diseases they come up with are just insane. But the whole thing is they're doing it. They're paying the money for those ads so they can control the media. And so
Yeah.
the media won't talk bad about Big Pharma. It's not really, and this isn't a conspiracy theory. You can just do a little bit of reading and figure that out.
yeah.
There's also play on the placebo people.
Yeah.
They'll see it. Oh, I have that.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. And then they do, like Kennedy's in there trying to do some changes. He's really trying to do some different things. And there is such a fucking witch hunt for that guy that so many people that are just like, he wants to eliminate people with
Autism.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like he's out to get rid of autism and eliminate. Like no, he's not trying to do anything with people that have autism. He's trying to figure out why all of a sudden in the last 30 years so many people have autism. When we were kids growing up, and he says this, and I know everybody's heard this, but when we were kids, we had two people that were definitely on the spectrum. One was Chauncey.
Oh, yeah.
And then you remember Harlan that worked on the bikes over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two dudes that were 100% were in a different realm.
Did you ever go inside Harlan's house?
No, but he had that shed where he.
It was nothing but train sets
Really?
everywhere.
So this kid Harlan that we knew when we were kids.
Harlan Ferris.
Yeah, he fixed all our bikes. Like, something would happen to your bike, and you'd go over to his house, and you'd pull up into the driveway and walk your bike in there, and whatever it was, he'd fix it.
Yeah.
We're 12, 13 years old.
Something like that.
He would fucking take two sets of forks and put them together, and then weld the fork together so that he could have stretched out fork legs. He'd make his own handlebars. He'd do all kinds of stuff, and
Yeah.
but trying to talk to him, like he wasn't easy to talk to.
Yeah.
But he was more than happy to help us.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. I heard he passed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Joe said something about me and Joe were just talking about him yesterday.
Wow. Wild.
But yeah, that I wouldn't have thought of that when I do think of people from our childhood. He was definitely on the spectrum. I would think.
Yeah.
But his dad was also very unique.
Yeah.
you know?
Like the Vanderwalls?
Yes. That's a whole different, that is, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Those are the wild, wonderful whites of Shelton.
No shit. It
Dude,
the whole thing back to the pharma deal is watching the propaganda attack that is continually put against Kennedy.
it's insane.
Because the
dude.
people that should be on board with it and be like, hey, here's somebody that's trying to do things to make our life healthier, to get rid of these things that are in our food and in our drinks and all this stuff that are there he's just trying to make it better for everybody. And they've done such a hardcore attack on him that there's a few people that are just they all post the same exact shit.
Yeah,
but it's like some guy that's got all these things, like when Robert will say or Kennedy will say something, and this other guy will just like roll his eyes and do this whole thing about how wrong he is and how stupid this is. Well, you can clip out anything. He's trying. And if you've listened to the guy talk, he's not out of bounds on anything. He's just trying to figure it out, you know?
What should any part of making us healthier is not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's an issue. Obesity is a huge issue, and we're the sickest nation in the world. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were talking about food earlier. Go to the store and try to find products that don't have 10 things on it, and try, you know, it's even if you just want to buy meat,
Yeah.
there's shit in it. You know, whatever hormones they had to put in or whatever they had to do, you know. And then we just, it's all addictive, and it's all just, you know, it's garbage, and they just keep doing it to us.
And they, you know, these are the stuff that's in ours is illegal in every other country.
Yeah, we can't sell our food to other countries.
It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole, you know, I was really stoked on Trump's whole team, Gabby Tolsard and Kash Patel and all those guys. But man, they got a lot of work to do and a short time to do it. You know,
and a big fight, the whole time from both sides.
Yeah.
It's not, it's a fight all the way around, because those same, you know, the Democrats were attacking them when they were Democrats, and the Republicans, a lot of the Republicans don't want it either, because they're all controlled by the same people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you know, the narrative sounds different, but it really, when it comes down to it, it's all the same people controlling what's going on.
Patel's verbiage screams handler.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, what were the options? I mean, honestly, if we would have went Democrat, the United States is just going to be like one big Washington State or San Francisco.
Yeah.
They would have turned the whole nation into a dumpster fire.
That's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and I was glad California went red, you know, because it makes you. This state's been blue forever, not once has it been red, well, except for I think Schwarzenegger, but people just got tired of getting transgenderism forced down their throat and all that woke mindset, and there's eventually the people let them know.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah, we don't.
You
care.
know, we don't care at all. I do not care. But, you know, keep it in house. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, you know, if that's how you feel and that's what you want to do and that's how you're willing to, if you're willing to take your teenage son or daughter and let them do hormone stuff and do all that, I guess it's your kid. You know?
I don't agree. I think some of those parents groom those kids, and I think that that if they want to change anything with their genitals, they should have to be over 21. I don't think any child.
I agree.
Because you can't even get a tattoo.
Can't get a tattoo. Can't buy alcohol.
But
There's a lot of stuff you can't
But
do.
you can take a hormone blocker, basically chemical castration.
at 12 or 13 years
Yeah,
old.
it's insanity.
Yeah.
And I don't think any rational person disagrees with that. I mean,
I don't know, man. I know some people that are really, really intelligent people that I really, really love, like, enjoy talking to, hanging out with, and having good conversations. That when that type of thing will get brought up, I'll just change the subject or walk away from the conversation. Because at this point in time, I won't discuss it and talk to people that really are into it and believe that it's right. When they really actually believe that giving a 12-year-old hormone blockers because they think that they're in the wrong body or they weren't. I'm like, man, that's a little young.
well, and how many,
you're getting influenced by your friends.
how many, let's just say, for instance, how many girls did we know when we were in high school that thought they were gay and they went and played around and figured out, and 5 years later or 2 years, whatever,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I was just curious.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be curious and
Yeah.
and follow those feelings and
Look,
do
man,
that.
if you're curious and you follow those feelings, then maybe later on when you're an adult, you won't be confused and end up in Hillmont trying to figure out where you're really at.
I know.
and-
I was just thinking about Craig too, dude.
yeah, I mean, I really feel for the guy.
Yeah.
dude,
Well, hopefully
And
he'll listen
Can
to
you
this.
imagine his dress size?
God, no.
Yeah. Everything will have to be like, turn of the century, the hands-made tail, all those flowery dresses, and
Go to the Samoan store.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, politics suck,
Yeah.
but life is good. Life is good.
It's what I'm waiting for, and what's really eventually is really at some point in time, we're either going to have another couple of planes flown into a building, or allegedly, knew something was coming.
That's a whole nother.
We're something's going to come of this because of all the people that in the last 4 years have been letting across that border. They know that border is open,
Well, and
and they
there's
flushed people through that border.
there's
I mean,
definitely cells here.
Yeah.
They're active.
yeah,
So-
and the FBI I know does a really good job of curtailing that stuff and realizing through voice recognition all the different stuff that they use. A lot of the times they're stopping this stuff and you don't even hear about it.
I know, it's
You
crazy. They are definitely busy.
Yeah, but at some point it's gonna go. Something's gonna go awry.
I know.
It's inevitable. We can't keep doing this stuff and putting us out there that we're the strongest nation in the world and we need to police everybody, and then at some point in time have people not go, no, man. You wiped out my entire family.
Well, and we,
know?
this is just generational.
Yeah.
That's what, nobody over there likes us.
No.
They liked our money,
Yeah, everybody likes their
But-
money.
but we had no business being there. Wars are just bullshit, man. It's all. And then, when you look back and you get, dude, I go way down into these conspiracy theory holes. It's like everything's a false flag.
Yep.
And for what? For the war machine, for the military the industrial complex. It's like they don't care. We are disposable.
Well, the money all this stuff that we're selling to Ukraine
I know.
is all. It's all to just get rid of stuff that we have so that they keep building new stuff.
For sure.
So they get the newer technology, but they get rid of all the old stock. And it's just a shell game. It's all just a shell game.
That's
Yeah.
what we're doing in the Air Force. In the name of expending the budget so that the budget gets expanded next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Use it.
Yep.
You lose it. Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. And that's just insane, that whole mentality of, hey, here's a $40 billion budget, but you got to spend every dime of it.
Yeah.
But if you do, we'll give you more next year.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And hopefully, I don't know what happened with Elon and Trump, but I heard they made up. But that whole.
There's no way that those two are going to keep going back and forth and not have disagreements. It's
Yeah.
just whether or not they can get past their egos.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing with all this stuff. I mean, the only reason Trump ever ran for president was because of his ego. And it was because Obama said, one thing that you will never be is president. And Trump went, okay, hold my beer.
Yep.
Let's see how this goes,
Man, Brock turned out to be a big disappointment. When he was president, I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican. And when Barack came in, his whole campaign was hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I did not think I would see a black president in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Allegedly black. But it was inspirational.
Yeah.
And he's a statesman. He's one of the best speakers to ever
Super
be in the
articulate.
White House.
Yeah. Clinton as well.
Good looking guy, talks great, and he was, but man, now he doesn't look healthy. He looks like he's been doing shady shit behind curtains.
There's not one of them that's walked away from there that doesn't look
haggard.
Yeah, except for Trump.
I know.
It says something about them McDonald's
All
cheeseburgers.
Manchurian.
Yeah.
All Manchurian.
Yeah, Trump he's special for sure. He just does not give a shit what anybody. And
but along with that, he also really truly doesn't. He's doing stuff more for himself than anything else. To say that guy actually cares about people is insane. He does not give a shit about people at all. He never has. He's always been anti-union. He's always been anti-worker. He's always been anti-people. He doesn't care. To think that guy is doing anything because he thinks it's great for the American people is pretty crazy. Dude.
Any
He's
big
doing
business
it for his
owner,
ego. Yeah.
Any big business owner has a huge ego, and any big business owner is going to be anti-union.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's this chicken coop coming, man? I want to hear about that, man.
It's been an adventure. I got another 1,000 pounds of sand on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I put gravel in the coop and then put sand over it so it's easy to clean up their poop. And the sand all settled into the rocks, so I had to go get more. But it's a really cool coop. It was a kit for Tractor Supply, from Tractor Supply. It's like a 12 chicken coop.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty good size. Chicks are interesting. They were cute. Now they grow quick.
Yeah.
But when they were small, one
really
of them
cute.
I'd put it on my chest and it would crawl up under my beard and take a nap.
Yeah.
Really cute. I'm going to hate to have to slaughter that thing eventually. Hopefully it's a hen. Marcy you can either get them sexed so you know what you're getting and it's like $30 a chick, or you get them unsexed and they're $14 a chick. To me, it makes more sense to just spend the money. But Marcy figured this is our first go at it and
see where we end up.
See what happens, yeah. One of the chicks has some weird skin thing, like its feathers are all gone down its back. We've got some spray. Anyway, yeah, they're cool. They're not super loud or annoying, and they're pretty funny. The smallest one, Minnie, it runs the show.
Yeah.
It's funny, dude. She is a little shit. But yeah, chickens are interesting. The garden is looking fantastic too. So yeah, the backyard's I got to finish up. I got to reset some pavers because we just had all the landscaping redone. And I just got to figure out how to do the pavers.
Yeah, your gardening stuff is really surprising.
It's nice, actually. It's fun.
Yeah.
I told Marcy, a lot of the extra stuff right now we're just feeding to the chickens.
Yeah.
Because we've got zucchini it's crazy, but I'll have some green beans. I'm going to pickle some green beans for the bar.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. Green beans and zucchini always go buck wild, but my tomatoes look like they're actually going to
do something.
Dude, the last 3 or 4 years, tomatoes, just nothing.
There's nothing better than actual garden-grown, vine-ripe tomatoes, though, man.
Oh, my God. And now, so when I first got the plants, I just started immediately pruning. There's a technique to it. You just got to prune all the bottom stems off and guide it as it grows up. And so we did that this year, and they're looking pretty promising.
Super
Yeah.
crop. You super crop it.
What's that? The pruning?
Yeah, I think it's called super crop. Yeah.
Just trim the crap out of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've found that with most plants. You prune the shit out of them, and they grow. It's almost like they.
Defensive.
Yes, exactly. Did you ever hear that? It's completely off subject, and I don't even know why I thought of it. But I think it was at Stanford. They took one plant and 25 students, and another group of 25 students took another plant. This group loved the plant, prayed for the plant, sang to the plant. They both got the same amount of nutrition. The other plant, they yelled at it and abused it, like verbally, and same nutrition. And that plant, the bee plant, died. Like, and so I was also reading something just a couple weeks ago. They did the same thing with water. So they got like a gallon of water, and they did the same thing. One group loved it, the other group hated it. And when they froze that water, when it crystallized, they were completely different.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're all just cells and energy. You know what I mean? But that's why we should all just love each other and not yell at each other and be hateful and go to war.
Yeah. I try to, and we know this, but I try really hard to just keep everything as positive as I can.
For sure.
You know, and try not to, we're talking about like mental health, like trying to deal with the different emotions and things that I have. And, it hasn't been that long, but I think at times that like I should be able to be past this stuff.
Right. I know. I know exactly what you're talking about. And we're okay,
Yeah. Just stuff it down and don't talk about it. Makes for a great podcast.
Yeah.
Yesterday, a guy named Jim came by the bar, and another guy, Art, was there. And Art's known West. He knew West and Jason and Tyrone, and like he's known everybody. He grew up down on the avenue and stuff. And him and I were talking, and Jim was there, and West and Shoshana introduced Carrie and Jim years ago.
Oh, wow.
And that's
Okay.
been 9 years. They just had an anniversary, and we were talking about it, and I was bebopping around having a good time, and all of a sudden it was just a kick in the gut, and I'm in the middle of a conversation, just kind of smiling and laughing and talking. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna walk in the back. I gotta go do something," and had to go back there and just kind of breathe for a while and stuff, because it's just like I don't get to talk to one of my fucking best friends for, over 30 years, and just don't get to have those conversations and grow old together and hang out and, talk shit,
Wes was a rough one.
Yeah.
And that's, he's one of those guys, same with you. We just talk to each other,
Oh, yeah.
It just, even if it's just texting, hey, fuck you,
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. And I miss him so much. It's just one of those ones like when Mom died, you're almost in denial about it. Like, that shit didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with Andy.
Yeah.
Both Wes and Andy are some of the only people that just showed up at my house. Like, no phone call, no nothing. Just show up, pull up into the driveway. Hey, what are you doing? None. What are you doing? None. Just thinking about you. Decided to ride down here and say hi.
Yeah.
And I did the same to both of them, until Wes moved up on that fucking driveway, dude.
Fucking driveway. It hurts just looking at it.
Dude, I've had to walk up it several times, man, and it's gnarly,
You had to put your truck in 4-wheel drive to get up it.
Yeah, I know. Yep, had to put it in 4-low to keep the truck. It's over on Foothill. As you go around the corner on Foothill, it's a gnarly driveway. I mean, it's like gnarly. And my truck because I back up into it, so when I go down it, I can see what's going on because I don't want to back out into the traffic. And so I backed up in it and got about halfway up the hill, and the tires just started chirping. Yeah, so I had to put it in 4 low and then just creep up the hill, and it was fine. But to get to that point was pretty. You're like, this doesn't even fucking make sense. Like, you know,
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. The we've definitely had some losses, some really good friends. I mean, fucking sucks, but blessed to have them when we did, I guess, is how you gotta look at
and we
it.
blessed that we have who we do have.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
man.
Like
we have it.
we're still very, very blessed. You know, having Brother Joe around for the last couple of days has been really cool, man.
Yeah. And just our circle of friends and Steve Holman and Robert Guerrero,
Yeah.
all of our friends. We are insanely blessed with our circle of friends.
Yeah.
Lucky.
I always like having somebody like Joe that comes around that's known me through all the shit.
Yeah.
Like Joe and Robert and like a few of them that are like, and then they'll just be like, "Oh no, that's real." Like,
Yeah.
you know, that was this is what happened.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Junior high, he looked like a grown man.
Yeah.
You know, had a beard and a mustache when he was 12.
And that's
You know?
no joke.
Yeah.
I was looking for hairs when I was 15,
You were 19.
maybe 19. I was a late bloomer, which was fucking bullshit because you literally had a beard when you were 12.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, sweet, I'm going to have a beard pretty soon. Nope.
No.
No, did not happen. Hey, that being said, that Dead Man Beard Company, their
Their
butter,
beard
that
stuff, yeah.
citrus one.
Yep.
Oh my
That's
god.
what I'm on too.
Oh
Yeah.
man, dude, that's my favorite
Hey,
right there.
I love that stuff, man. It's so nice and it smells good. It
smells great, yeah.
It's easy to use. A lot of the product that I get from different stuff in the past, like you got to like dig it out because it's all like a wax and it's really hard. And then you got to try to get it in your beard, heat it up in your hands really
Yeah.
good, and then heat it through your beard. You know, and I do a lot. You know, for me, I got to blow dry it and do all this different stuff to get my beard where I want it. And it's a pain in the ass. But that beard butter, I'm able to just dip my finger in there, get a good little bit on there, rub it around a little bit, and just brush it through
Yeah.
finger it through the hair. You know, and there's no fighting to it. There's no like hard work to it. And then just style it as I normally style it. And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it smells good. And it looks, I
Gets that
really
little
enjoy
sheen
it.
going and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, this is just conversation. I'm shout out to Dead Man
Dead
Beard
Man Beard
Company,
Company,
but
yeah.
I was bringing it up because I really do enjoy that product.
Yeah. Yeah. No, me too, man. It's the shit. I'm glad, Kenny, I'm glad you're using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's routine. I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
That's
So on
what's
that
up.
note, thank you guys. I know you got to get back to work.
I do. Yeah.
Craig, I hope everything's good for you, brother. We
Oh,
miss you,
man.
man. I know that I think you're going to be getting out of Hillmont today, hopefully.
Can we go visit them?
Yeah,
mean-
I'm good. You know, I'm good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Also, big shout out to Balcom Canyon. Sorry I didn't get to go on your beer crawl this weekend. We love you guys. Subscribe, do all the stuff. We say it all the time. Hey, look, man, for me, really, truthfully, I just appreciate you guys telling me how much you guys like the podcast and coming up and expressing that to me and letting me know that you listen to the podcast is awesome. So if you can do the same thing for other people and say, hey, look, check it out, man. You know, we're doing this because we love to do it. We like to do it. We're having a good time. I don't want to change it. But if you guys can help us grow, we'd like to grow a little bit more, man. It's doesn't sound like much when you hear about people that have tens and thousands of followers, but we would just like to get to 1,000. So if you can help us out, get us up there, man. We'd really, really appreciate it.
For sure.
So, hey, man, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. See you next week. And, you know, I know Craig will be back in a month or whatever towards the end of summer, but I'm gonna keep doing what I can to keep running this stuff. I do miss him. Love you guys. We'll talk soon.
Peace.